What's with the suit jacket?
My armpits are sweaty.
Oh, we made that joke before.
Yep. We've not done this video before, though. Right.
It just means nothing.
Yep. Buster Keaton was a man who gave less of a shit about his own personal safety than a guy challenging a gorilla to a fist fight. As a result of this, Keaton basically spent his entire life putting his bones and life on the line to entertain us, the public, in a series of well-received films. Few people realise, though, that Keaton was so good at pretending to hurt himself that he occasionally stood in as his own fucking stunt double just because.
You've wrote quite a few articles on Buster Keaton, haven't you?
I have, yes, because he was a fascinating man with a very interesting life, but I don't think we've discussed him on the channel.
No.
So, for people who may not be familiar with him, he was an actor/director, famous for performing all his own stunts, to the point where people like Jackie Chan cite him as an inspiration and an influence. I'm sure Brad's going to put in plenty of examples of Buster Keaton showing off his stuff, and what's most interesting about it, though, is that how he developed the skill of pretending to fall over and hurt himself without actually hurting himself. Because there's an article I've written about it that will no doubt turn into a video one day that discusses his life as on the vaudeville circuit as a kid. And there's a routine him and his father used to do called the Human Mop. And that would basically involve his father walking out on stage and pretending to perform a number of menial tasks, sweeping up, that sort of thing. And Keaton would come up, young child Keaton, and piss his dad off. What his dad would do is grab him by the scruff of his neck and a special handle that was sewn into the back of his clothes and throw him several dozen feet through the air, off the edge of the stage, into scenery, through windows, through specially made doors that would break away. And Keaton would stand up perfectly unharmed and walk back to his dad and continue annoying him. And my favourite part about this routine is it would end with Keaton being thrown into the crowd. And according to Keaton, his dad would specifically target people in the audience he didn't like or acting obnoxious as the people he'd aim him towards, and he'd just flying missile drop kick them.
Just launch his son.
Yeah, he'd use his own son as a weapon to hit people in the audience who were being annoying or heckling them.
So wait, their entire act was Uncle Phil and Jazz?
Yeah, Jazz getting thrown out the door in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But, fun fact for people who don't know, that was only ever filmed once. Because they were worried about the actor getting hurt. So they said, well, film you being thrown out the door once, and then any time you're going to get thrown out again, wear the same outfit. So they kept that outfit in storage, and whenever the scene would call for Jazz to be thrown out the house, he'd come in wearing that one.
But he was thrown out in nearly every episode.
Yeah, so you can tell if he's going to be thrown out the house or not if he's wearing that outfit. Because they just used the same shot. Because there's no point redoing it and potentially injuring you. But yeah, that was Keaton's childhood, being thrown roughly about a stage into various objects by his dad. And obviously that helped him hone his skills as a tumbler to the point where there's a great
Horny skills?
Yeah. What's that?
I'm just laughing at the concept of honing your skills by being launched through a wall.
Tumbling's a skill you can learn.
It is.
And so is breaking as well.
The Fools and Horses episode.
Yeah, parachute jumping and stuff like that, where falling a great distance without injuring yourself. It's a skill that can be learned, and Keaton got very good at it. Keaton was still reportedly able to do a lot of crazy stuff, even as an old man. And he would reportedly take great pleasure in freaking people out by pretending he was old and crippled. And then one of his favourite things to do would be to say, I'm still quite flexible. And he'd put his leg on a table and balance it and say, I can still stretch. And then what he'd do is he'd pick up his other leg and put that on the table, hold himself in the air for a split second, completely horizontal, and then fall down and hurt himself. And then people, oh my God, are you okay? And you go, no, fine. And get up. Basically Willy Wonka it. He'd just do the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka thing of and the full front flip.
So you were thinking Gene Wilder Willy Wonka. I was thinking Johnny Knoxville in his makeup.
Oh, yes. When he pretends to be the old man and just eats shit super hard and then gets up and runs off. Well, the best one of them is the one that's not even in one of the films. It's in one of the episodes where they dress someone up as an old person and they put him on one of those mobility scooters and they go to the top of the biggest hill they can find and they have him go down screaming, oh shit, no brakes, no brakes, and he goes 100 miles an hour. And a guy, to his credit, sprints after him the entire way and he gets to the bottom, and the reason I remember it is because the guy who's in the old person makeup goes, that was fun, can you wheel me to the top so I can do it again? But there's just something about old ass man who could very clearly whoop your ass. So we have to, at this point, give big shout outs to the man himself, Jack Lalanne, So are you familiar at all with the life of Jack LaLanne, Brad?
Remind me.
So that's a no. Okay. Well,
I say no to everything, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't know.
Okay, don't pull back the curtain.
It makes me look stupid.
Don't pull back the curtain too much. Jack LaLanne was a fitness guru, and he was famous for in his old age these stunts that he would do every year on his birthday to prove that he was still in shape. And I think he celebrated like his 60th birthday by swimming from Alcatraz to San Francisco in a straitjacket, pulling a boat with his teeth. And you better find a list of the things he did and just put them below because they're ridiculous. And there's a great story from Arnold Schwarzenegger about when he met Jack LaLanne when he was in like his mid-60s on a plane somewhere. And Jack LaLanne met Schwarzenegger and shook his hand, and Schwarzenegger complimented him on his physique at like such an advanced age. And LaLanne responded by, I think, putting his hands on 2 seats and then putting his feet to the ceiling of the plane and touching it perfectly and then lowering them very slowly and then challenging Schwarzenegger to a push-up contest, which he won handily. To the point, and Schwarzenegger responded afterwards, that Jack LaLanne is an animal. So he beat Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. fucking Universe, in his prime, in a push-up contest when he was 60-odd years old. Yeah. And I think he died at like age 90-odd, and obviously people always asked him, how do you stay in shape to this age? And, well, my secret is having sex. Me and my wife have sex almost 3 times a week. We almost have sex on Monday, almost have sex on a Wednesday, and almost on a Friday. And he's got like a YouTube videos. I think he's passed away now, but you can find his YouTube videos where he exercises at like 90, and he shows like face exercises that he's got. And he shows you how to exercise your face to get a buff face. So no, it's not directly related to the topic at hand, but there's just something hilarious to me about the idea of an old-ass Buster Keaton proving to people that he's still got it. That he can still do those stunts he was famous for as a kid. And it reminds me a lot of the trend in Hollywood of getting an old-ass actor and turning them into an action star, you know, a la Liam Neeson in Taken or Keanu Reeves in John Wick. So, Brad, what old actor do you want to see get dragged, kicking and screaming out of retirement and turned into an action star against their will?
I think we should follow the trend of Kingsman. Because the idea there was they wanted to get an actor who wasn't known for action.
Yeah, Colin
Firth. Put them
Firth.
into an action role.
And Colin Firth, to his credit, got really fucking good. He was in the best shape of his life for that movie. So
I'm going to put him forward for a start. Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. Oh, that'd be good. Because he could be the more foppish James Bond. That'd be fucking great. That's what it could be. I know. Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say Pierce Brosnan. I think they should bring back Pierce Brosnan. Do you know they keep saying who's going to be Bond next?
Yeah.
I want them to do Bond Ultimate and bring back all the actors who've already played Bond who are still alive and make them just come back. Like, bring back Sean Connery. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what he's doing. Bring him back and do old-ass Bond and make it like Kingsman where you got Colin Firth doing sick-ass backflips. I think like Pierce Brosnan could do it.
We could do like a Bond ensemble movie.
Yeah, and then bring back all the old Bonds. But the one, because as cool as like those Pierce Brosnan Bond movies were, he never really did anything in the same vein as like Daniel Craig Bond, did he? Like they never had like the level of stunts. Like they had like the car chases and the boat chase, I think, along the River Thames in one of the Bond movies. But Pierce Brosnan never did the jumping off the back of a moving train.
Or jumping off a crane.
Yeah, he never did the parkour section, did he? So I want to bring him back and say, no, this Bond had it too, just so he can prove it to himself.
Well, while we're on the subject, actually, I remember saying to you when we watched Johnny English 3.
Yes.
And I was saying, like, I wanted a scene in that where they had Rowan Atkinson go Colin Firth on some people's asses.
Yeah, to show you how, like, why is he this legendary, famous, like, spy in
like
this
they've
universe.
had a couple of films of him where they've like grown him as a character. Like the third one should have been, he is a fucking amazing spy, but he still fucks
Yeah,
up.
he's entered the realm of legend at this point. And there's just something about that idea. Let's just get an actor who's not known for action to do it. So that's what the Marvel movies basically are now. Like Kate Blanchett. Let's just turn Kate Blanchett into the god of death and have her just doing stripper combos to Karl Urban.
Stripper.
Fucking awesome. It's like, I was always disappointed they never got like Anthony Hopkins. They never give him his time. Because he never actually does anything as Odin. And I just want to see for like just one film, just show him just stand up and just summon a fucking lightning storm or some shit. All actors that are in those movies, they need their moment.
It'd be cool to see Patrick Stewart in an action film where he doesn't spend the whole time sat in a chair.
That'd be pretty good. We have discussed before, though, it is established in at least one piece of X-Men fiction that Professor X can do wheelchair combos. So it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. But I would have loved to see, like, Patrick Stewart. I just want old actors to come back and just get their moment. I want that gif of them just, like, absolutely wrecking someone's shit to live forever. Like, Hugh Jackman got his moment,
Yeah.
where old-ass Logan gets that one last sprint through the forest where he just rage sprints and kills a lot of people.
They should make an Expendable, like a one more Expendables.
But make it with actors who aren't famous for doing
It
action.
should end with a final shot of like maybe there's like an army or something. The bad guy's dying. He says, "You can't win. My army's still here." And he goes, "I've got my army." And then every famous person from every film just steps up behind him.
Oh, well, isn't that just the end of Anchorman 2?
That does have one of those scenes.
That basically is that, isn't it?
Who is it that appears in that? The really.
They have like Harrison Ford.
That was it. Harrison Ford green
Ford
screened into it.
He just turns up. Well, they need to do it. Oh man, I just like the idea of just giving an actor, here's your one moment. Do something fucking badass. You get your moment. That's like Kate Blanchett just doing fucking like Bayonetta combos in Thor Ragnarok. That shit's the best.
So back to Keaton.
Yes.
You said he honed his ability to take a hit as a kid.
Yes, to the point where when he was a man in his prime, he was capable of performing like death-defying stunts. That's still impressive today. Like I said, like Jackie Chan acknowledges like Buster Keaton as like one of the greatest stuntmen who ever lived. Like, he was a stuntman before stuntmen were a thing. Like, they didn't have safety mats or any shit like that. And I think the most famous stunt he ever did, and I think it's one people watching might not even know the origins of, is the famous house facade falling down.
Yeah.
And like he's standing and the window goes over him. So we should talk about that, because I think it encapsulates how ballsy this motherfucker was. That's a real stunt, and I think the facade weighed a couple of tons. And I think his own crew refused to turn up and film that scene. He had to film that shot with a skeleton crew, because half the people that like were supposed to help him film it walked off because they genuinely thought he was going to kill him.
They didn't want to watch him die.
Yeah, they thought, I don't want to watch my friend die. And people tried to talk him out of it. And you're like, no, it's fine. And if you watch back the clip, and I'm sure Brad will slow it down and zoom in, you can see part of the facade brush his arm, and he doesn't flinch.
He knocks his hand to the side.
He doesn't flinch. It would have killed him instantly. There's a bunch of other less crazy stunts he's famous for. I think one of my favourites is him trying to climb over a gate in the wind. And he climbs over and the wind just blows the gate shut and he ends up on the same side. Like, oh, and that's something that Jackie Chan has like taken direct influence from, like comedy action. Yeah. Like, he invented comedy action before it was a thing. Like, this guy was a trailblazer in that regard. As accomplished as a director as he was an actor and a stuntman, Keaton was reportedly very exacting in the standards he expected of the people he cast in his movies, to the point where he would cast people on their ability to perform a given stunt rather than their ability to act.
So where does being his own stuntman come into it?
Well, even though Keaton went out of his way to hire actors who had a certain proficiency in, like, pretending to fall over and hurt themselves, occasionally they would refuse to do the stunts he asked them to, leading to him having to do the stunts himself. The problem is, though, sometimes he was also in those scenes. The most famous example of this is a film called Sherlock Jr., when Keaton is sat on the front of a motorcycle in the basket and the rider falls off, leaving him to steer the motorcycle literally by the seat of his pants.
Well, that doesn't sound too complicated. What was the issue with the stunt?
The driver of the motorcycle didn't want to fall off a moving motorcycle going along a road, because the stunt called for him to fall off the bike into a puddle as they went past it, and that was the joke. The problem was the stuntman was like, no, I don't want to do that. And Keaton went, no, I need you. The scene calls you to eat shit. So can you please go into, get on the motorcycle and eat shit? I'm the one who has to ride the motorcycle by the seat of my pants. I'm doing the dangerous part here. And the stuntman went, no, I'm not going to do it. I've refused to do that. So Keaton got pissed off and said, okay, give me your outfit. Put the rider's outfit on, put him in the front, and then rode on the motorcycle, told his film crew to film it from the back, fell off the motorcycle himself, did it in one take obviously, because this is like Buster Keaton, told the guy on the motorcycle to pull over, got back into the motorcycle, and did the rest of the stunt.
So he did two stunts in the same scene for two different characters?
Yes. And then
legend.
And then immediately, as soon as he got the shot he needed, told the guy who was like stunt doubling for him to get out so he could do the stunt himself. Because he was like that famous for doing all his own stunts. He was so confident in his ability to like not hurt himself that he knew anyone else doing it would potentially risk like dying. And he's like, I'm not. I'm Buster fucking Keaton. But the idea that the stuntman went, no, I don't want to fall off a moving motorcycle onto concrete. And Keaton's like, why? I'll do it. And he did it. And he did it for one take. No effort whatsoever. What absolute boss.
Well, after hearing all this, I can understand why Jackie Chan would want to idolise someone like Buster Keaton.
Yeah, Buster Keaton was basically famous for the thing Jackie Chan is today, back then, doing all of his own stunts, which was super dangerous, without any safety equipment, because the safety equipment didn't exist. I think for that motorcycle scene, he wore like a leather jacket, and that was it. And then he fell off onto solid fucking concrete and didn't hurt himself. Like that house facade one. Do you know what he had in terms of safety equipment? An X drawn on the floor. That was it.
Oh,
there was nothing else there. Like I said, it would have killed him if it hit him on the head. That's why his entire crew walked off. A direct comparison to Jackie Chan is completely warranted because you can draw a straight line between the two. Some people would call Keaton insisting upon doing that stunt himself cockiness, but I'm going to presume that Keaton himself would just refer to it as doing his fucking job. So this video has been tangentially about stunts and Jackie Chan, so fuck it. Brad, favourite Jackie Chan stunt or moment?
You've seen The Tuxedo, right?
Yes. Go watch The Tuxedo, it's awful.
It's a terrible film, but I have a personal love for that scene where he's getting dressed. And he's fighting people whilst wearing the suit. 'Cause it's so dumb.
No, you're missing out though on the bit where he sings the James Brown song and then he just shakes his ass. He twerks at hypersonic speed in the main bad guy's face for a straight 30 seconds. You're forgetting that. You're forgetting that Jackie Chan can twerk and that we've got footage of it that Brad's going to put in right now.
So I know you are a huge Jackie Chan fan.
Yes.
So start throwing some at me.
The ladder fight. The ladder fight will always be the greatest because it's the one that I think just encapsulates what Jackie Chan's films are. It's a guy beating the shit out of someone with a fucking ladder and he wins. We've talked about it before as well, the clog fight in Who Am I? Because that is fucking hilarious, where he just puts clogs on and starts doing clog combos, but it revolves entirely around kicking people in the shin. He has a fighting style that revolves entirely around just kick people in the fucking shin, just toe capping people. And then you have to give the honourable mention to all the Rush Hour movies, which apparently Jackie Chan didn't like because he didn't get the humour, but he did manage to wrangle and getting his own stunt team in. And Chris Tucker would get really pissed off and be like, he keeps making us do reshoots of all these scenes because he wants to do it in one take. And Chris Tucker actually got pretty good at doing some of the martial arts. But I like the one where he just tells Chris Tucker to just flip him. It's like, flip me! What do you mean flip me? Flip me!
Is Rush Hour 2 the one with the sauna scene?
I think it might be, yeah. It's one where he towel whips the guy. He's like, oh, I know why you're mad. Just towel whips the guy.
Hey, Karl.
What?
John Wayne?
Oh, you know John Wayne?
Wayne?
You know John Wayne? The most annoying voice. That's the one, though, where they have the montage of just Jackie Chan showing you how to disarm someone in an awesome, cool way. And I think that was improvised. It was just Jackie Chan showing off and they put it in the movie.
We've talked about it before, haven't we? The horseshoe thing in Shanghai.
Shanghai Noon. That was the one where basically they just set up the scene and let Jackie Chan walk through it with his stunt crew and just say, okay, I'm going to use this weapon. I'm going to kick someone with that. I'm going to hit someone with that. And they just let him do what he wanted to. And it happened again in Shanghai Nights, a film that has perhaps the only line delivered by Owen Wilson that I like, where he goes to the orphan kid and tells it to piss off because he's an orphan, because he's got no parents.
What?
In the outtakes, you can hear Owen Wilson going, it's so harsh. Why am I making fun of him for being an orphan? But, oh, man. Yeah, there's so many good Jackie Chan moments, and I'm sure we're going to talk about them at another date.